Louis, do you worry that the new players on the block are eating into your strongholds?
I don't think there's any. First of all, for us, our aim is we are fighting against the NRM regime. You know, the NRM regime and its agents and those it associates with and all that. So that's our target. That's the enemy. That's where we are putting all our energies. Not on any other, you know, whatever you're calling other forces and all that. Because in Uganda right now, there are two options. One is the oppressors, the other ones are the oppressed. So the people of Uganda will have an opportunity come January to determine whether they are going to stay under the same conditions or to change. And as far as we know, the National Unity Platform represents that change. We are delighted by those other comrades in other forces who associate with our message, who we've been working with, who we've been discussing with and talking with to see that we advance the cause. You've seen us a number of times engage with our comrades in the PFF. You've seen us engage UPC and other like-minded forces of change. So we are glad that we can move with those comrades to see that we bring about change in this country. All the others, I can say, are diversions.
Moses would love to engage you with a question here.
You say you are working with other people like PFF to the enemy, but Honorable Semuju here has a candidate from NUP in his constituency, somebody called Musisi, and even for the Lord Mayor of Kampala, NUP has a candidate against them. So what are those candidates doing? Are they just escorting the
incumbents?
The incumbents, or you are serious to unseat them from their seats?
Against some of those candidates does not take away the fact that we are pursuing the same objective of changing our country. You know, the main objective is to remove General Museveni and his decadent system that has brought our country to its knees. Our presidential candidate, the Honorable Sentamu Kyagulanyi, today was meant to be in Karenga, but he could not get there on time because of the terrible state of roads. So, if that is the situation that is happening in the country, healthcare, education and all that, we can come back to talk about the parliamentary seats you're talking about, but the main objective is to bring about a change that every Ugandan can be, you know, proud of. So we are a political party, and a political party which definitely called for expression of interest, and people express interest in all positions. And we could not ring-fence certain positions and say, you know, these ones were not going to field candidates and all that. So yes, in fact, that should be healthy if we had a democratic society. Political parties can cooperate at certain levels, strategic levels, even when they are competing with each other at the lower levels. So I don't see any contradiction whatsoever.
How painful is it that the DF took on some of your members who had been with you for a while, but who were denied an opportunity or who were denied party cards representation?
I would rather focus on the NRM, which is the one with the ball, which we are struggling to get the ball from. And that ball is what we talk about, the victor's crown, the good governance. You know, we've presented a manifesto to this nation with 11 principal points, the policy points that we are talking about. So I would rather focus on that and not focus on, you know, the other things you're trying to talk about, because ultimately they are not the ones with the ball. What we are trying to pursue is a greater objective, and that is redemption of this nation.
Bodongoto has a question for you.
No, I just have a very honest submission. I think at 48 years, I should be a little more frank. There is a lot more deception in NUP than what the eyes can see. I know what I'm talking about. Because for heaven's sake, Alan Sewanyana nearly died in prison. And he comes out and the party card is given to someone's girlfriend. This is not how you run a political party. I have been in several street battles with Honorable Matthias Mpuuga while the leader of opposition. NUP pushes him out of his position because they fear he's more prominent than Bobby Wine. Semuju Ibrahim is one MP. I would rather than an election, but not Semuju. And then find NUP, fund people day and night to get Semuju out of parliament. So this raises credibility in the eyes of some of us that what the hell is NUP in this Uganda? We need answers.
Mr. Lumbongoya, over to you.
Again, like I said, this country unfortunately has so many, people you see moving around, and but their objectives are well known, and the nations sadly are meant to derail whatever gains the people of Uganda are making in terms of trying to redeem themselves from the mess that we find ourselves. So what I want to say is that when the party puts out a process and people contest in that process, you go in that process knowing that you're going to either emerge victorious or not emerge victorious. Any serious person who can think will realize some of our incumbents made it, others did not make it. Some newcomers made it, others did not make it. So I don't want anybody to be misleading the public to say that there are people who should be untouchable, who should, when you put out a process and say, come and participate in this process, then it has to be open, it has to be transparent, it has to be fair, and that is what we follow. In NUP, we don't bring first positions. We say that we are going to give 60% based on the ground survey, we are going to give 40% based on the vetting committee, and whoever you are, if you do not make it through that system, unfortunately, cannot just grant you the card. Because what I think Honorable Odongo calls us is to be corrupt, is not to follow the principles that we put in place. Because if we put a system in place, we must follow it. That is the kind of country we want to build, where we stand on principle. You've just talked about the Honorable Matthias, who is in the studio, and everybody knows you're talking about here and all that. There was a clear issue which we considered extremely wrong, which we considered immoral, and it was out there in the public. Everybody knows what that issue was. So when you come here and you start saying, because what are you talking about?
Appoint Bobby Wine's brother to be a candidate in one constituency. It's like the same system we are fighting. It's the same system we are replacing. I need help here.
Well, Honorable Mpuuga has been mentioned here. In all fairness, you need to make a rebuttal to...
There's nothing to rebut about. Mr. Lumbongoya knows the level of fraud in which he is seated personally, and I'm not about that kind of altercation. He knows himself. He knows so well. He knows how much, both as individuals of the party, as a party and as peace advocates, what they have been doing, public funds. He knows the kind of fraud and extortion of NUP members that he has been involved in personally. Actually, if I were police, I would open an open file to investigate that party. But we are here to discuss progression, and I hesitate to discuss the past of Mr. Lumbongoya because he knows so well that things that would rather let the public eventually judge him upon. And for him to engage with me personally, I don't know why he didn't come here. I saw him around here. Why did he come and sit here? Did he choose to sit away in a curtain and start speaking from a curtain? He was around here. Why did he come here to the panel? So I rather that we focus on serious matters of the party.
You are very curious about the